And we're back with more Marvel Champions, continuing this spotlight of Nova. Be playing against Absorbing Man on Heroic 1 difficulty after having passed the initial test of Rhino on Heroic 1 difficulty. And we'll see how this goes. My opinion of Nova so far is that he is strong, in that he is able to have some big turns with Unleash the Nova Force. At other times, he's strong enough to tread water, but not strong enough to make progress, typically. So, I don't think I want to keep some of these. Okay. Well, no wild resources. Should I have kept one of these? No, none of those were wild resources either. We'll use the alter ego action, throw away rapid response to go get the supernova helmet. And I probably will play it as well. I don't think that Unleash the Nova Force will be especially good here, because I don't have a way to clear the threat, for Nova to clear the threat off of these schemes, so just going to use Unleash the Nova Force to pay for Supernova Helmet. Then we'll get out Maria Hill and draw a card, and even though it's inefficient, I'm going to use 2 resources to pay for Pot Shot. Well, if I'd unleashed the Nova Force, Nova could have cleared Super Absorbing Power in combination with Maria Hill. And maybe that turn wasn't played perfectly. I'm not sure. So, Absorbing Man's... we owe 1 environment card, actually, as part of the setup. And then Absorbing Man's attack is going to go on Maria Hill. And we got 2 encounter cards. Absorbing Man's encounter cards tend to be relatively mild. New environment. Avalanche. Spend a lightning resource or take 2 indirect damage. I do want to play Kalu, so I think I'll take the 2 damage. We'll need to move to Alter Ego to get rid of Weight of the World. Let's use Supernova Helmet for light speed flight and get rid of Avalanche. Play Kalu. Look at the top 5 for an event. We'll take the Pot Shot. So we'll go ahead and thwart for 1. Ready the Supernova. Well, we can't ready the Supernova Helmet because of the Weight of the World. But we'll still thwart for 1. Thwart for 1. No, we won't thwart for 1 with Nova, actually, because we're going to flip to Alter Ego and get rid of Weight of the World. Wow, removed from the game, actually. And then, do I want to keep Pot Shot or make the call? I don't think that I do. The longer I play this game, the more I realize how bad it is to keep cards in your hand at the end of the turn. So, Absorbing Man is going to scheme for 4. And then 2 encounter cards. That's a blank Surge. When revealed, you are stunned, and he has the ice trait, so 2 indirect damage as well. And then we got Piercing Thorns, discard a random card. As long as it's not Moon Girl. I had 6 cards in hand. It should actually be 7, because Connection to the World Mind doesn't count against the hand size. So on to the hero turn. We'll flip. We'll use Nova to get rid of the stun. We'll go 1, 2, 3 for Moon Girl. We'll use power on all of us for that. 1, 2, 3 for Moon Girl and draw 3 cards. Go for champions. Any good here? No. Let's go 1, 2, 3 for White Tiger and draw 2 cards. And we can use Kalu to thwart for 1 and retire him. Go 1, 2, 3, 4 for Nick Fury and draw 3 cards. Go regroup and then pot shot. And we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and then draw 5. So that was a big turn. Moon Girl is really the engine that makes this deck go. I do not think Nova would be strong at all without Moon Girl. That card is incredibly powerful. Probably the best ally in the game, though it would be a stiff competition with Peter Parker. So Absorbing Man's attack will go on Nick Fury, who will get returned to the hand thanks to regroup. Then we got 2 more encounter cards. Take 3 indirect damage, so we'll go 1. No, we're not going to do that because regroup only works if it's defeated by an enemy attack, and this isn't an attack. 3 indirect damage. 1, 2, 3. Ouch. Then ball and chain. At the end of the round, regroup leaves. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4 for Beast. Grab a resource card, and then we'll go White Tiger for 2. Nick Fury, and draw 3 again. I was hoping for another regroup. Play regroup. And probably just going to throw away these 2. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, and drop Absorbing Man into phase 3. Discard 2 and draw 5. 1 more thanks to connection to the World Mind. So I haven't even really had an Unleash the Nova Force turn. We're just advancing on the strength of Moon Girl, Nick Fury, and regroup. So we got an attack here, and after Absorbing Man activates, the attack go on Nick Fury. Once again, regroup brings him back. He's got ice, so we place 1 threat on the main scheme. And then 3 total encounter cards. Hydra Regular with Insight 1. Abandoned Facility, new environment. With Surge. Swinging Stone, Absorbing Man attacks you. That attack will go on Moon Girl. If there are 5 or more delay counters, there are 4. So Moon Girl will return to hand. Regroup is incredibly powerful. When I did my review of the leadership aspect, I didn't take into account that regroup can be used more than once per round, because it says when an ally is defeated by an enemy attack, return it to its owner's hand instead of discarding it, but it doesn't say you have to exhaust the card or that you discard it after that happens. You discard it when the round ends. But it means that every ally that dies to a boss attack can be returned to the hand. And in a Heroic 1 quest, where you're getting 2 or 3 encounter cards per round and therefore frequently get more than 1 attack, that is incredibly strong, as you can see in this situation, and this happened in the Rhino scenario as well. And the villain attacks you, and that attack will go on Beast. So there should have been one more threat for the Moon Girl attack, and then one more for the Beast attack. And Beast returns to hand as well. And then at the end of the round, Regroup leaves. So here is going to be an Unleash the Nova Force turn. So we'll spend... we can go 1, 2, 3 for Moon Girl. Draw 3 cards. We can use Supernova Helmet for Unleash the Nova Force. Nova to Thwart for 1, ready the helmet. Supernova Helmet for Pot Shot, take out the Hydra Regular. Draw a card, ready up. Go 1, 2. Deal 1 damage. Ready the helmet. Lightspeed Flight. Ready Nova and draw a card. 1, 2, 3, 4 for Nick Fury and draw 3 cards. Is this the turn for Go for Champions? Let's see, 1, 2. This may be the turn for Go for Champions. Can deal 1 damage, ready the helmet again. 3 plus the helmet for Beast. And grab a resource. And then regroup plus energy, Go for Champions. No, I don't think that's good. I think regroup is too good. So instead of the energy resource, let's grab Connection to the World Mine, because it can sit in the hand without penalizing me. We'll use Go for Champions to pay for regroup. Go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll draw 5. So 1 threat, 1 delay counter, 1 attack on Nick Fury. Back he comes to the hand. And that's going to place 1, or no, he has metal now. It's going to be 1 indirect damage. Hey, when did the metal environment come in? Did I miss? Should I have been placing damage? Yeah, the metal environment came in before 2 attacks, so I actually needed 2 more indirect damage. And that means that at the end of this round I would have been down to 2 or just 1 health. So I would have needed to flip to Alter Ego and heal, instead of something that I did. So probably I wouldn't have been able to ready Supernova Helmet 1 time, which means Beast's resource card would have needed to get spent. I think that's how that should be resolved, and then at the end of the round I could flip and heal for 3. Regroup wouldn't have been spent either. We'll just say that I would discard that instead. That should resolve everything. And of course, Nick Fury stays on the table. And Absorbing Man schemes instead of attacks for 4. It's not perfect, but it should adequately resolve the mistake in terms of the overall difficulty, which will serve our purposes of evaluating the hero. So, 2 encounter cards. Hydra Regular with Insight 1 and a Blank Surge. And Master Plan. So he still does a damage when he activates for the scheme. But then I would be ready up after that. So let's see if there's a side scheme in the remaining cards in the deck. Nope. So we got an acceleration token. Typically in a Heroic 1 quest, you will cycle through a deck one time, especially with a hero like Nova. You want to beat it before you cycle through 2 times though, or the threat will get out of hand. And I don't think we're going to have an issue with that. Nick Fury will leave at the end of the round. Can he deal 10 damage? We got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we can deal 10. So we'll just flip. We'll go Supernova Helmet for Pot Shot. And then go 1, 2, 3 for White Tiger. Draw 2. 2, 4, 5, 6. So really no trouble at all for Nova in this one. He did well. He's stronger than Scarlet Witch, primarily because he generates more resources than Scarlet Witch. The Supernova Helmet gives at least 1 resource every round guaranteed. In order for Scarlet Witch to match that in resource generation, she needs Sorcerer Supreme. Drawing a card is better than generating a resource. But Sorcerer Supreme is only 1 card in 40 and it's not guaranteed to come out, whereas Supernova Helmet is. So let's move on to the Crossbones scenario on Heroic 1. And we're back. Crossbones is an interesting scenario. Presents a unique challenge because of the low threshold for a quest to advance. You really can't switch to Alter Ego at all with this scenario. I've seen it happen where I flipped to Alter Ego 1 time and the boss made it through like 2 or 3 different schemes because he got his normal scheme and then an advance, which can be quite brutal. So you have to be very wary of switching to Alter Ego at all when you're playing this scenario solo on high difficulty. For the setup, we need 1 experimental weapons card. That's the worst one, Retaliate. Just need to get rid of that as soon as possible. Don't need Supernova Helmet in the opening hand unless we don't have a wild resource, and we don't, so I'll probably hang on to it. We'll get rid of Make the Call and Lightspeed Flight. And we'll get started. Get out Supernova Helmet. Go 1, 2, 3, 4 for Nick Fury and draw 3 cards. Trying to cycle through to get Moon Girl. We'll flip. Just going to eat the Retaliate damage here. And then I can ready Supernova Helmet and go 1, 2, 3 for White Tiger. And draw 2 cards. Connection of the World Mind. Go ahead and attack with Nick Fury and take the Retaliate damage, but I won't attack with White Tiger this round, and then we'll just draw +1 since Connection to the World Mind doesn't count against. And there's the Moon Girl. That's great. So we got 1 threat, 1 attack, first a machine gun for 0 damage. And then Nick Fury will tank for 2. And we got 2 encounter cards coming in. Weight of the World and Full Auto. Discard X cards from the top of the encounter deck where X is Crossbones attack. 1 indirect damage per boost icon. So there's 1, 2, 3 damage. Okay. Let's get rid of Energy Shield this round, so Lightning and Science, but first we'll go 1, 2, 3 for Moon Girl and draw 3 cards. So we'll go Lightning, Science, get rid of the Energy Shield. We'll go Supernova Helmet for Pot Shot. Rapid Force Field for Maria Hill. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. And we'll flip and get rid of Weight of the World. That's going to advance the main scheme, which sucks, but you need to get rid of Weight of the World. Then we'll draw 5. So 1 threat. Scheme for 3. It's going to mean an experimental weapons card. Not the right deck. Power Gauntlets, that's the second worst one. And we got 2 encounter cards. The Villain Schemes, well, that's going to advance. Well, that may not advance the scheme. We'll see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It does advance the scheme. And then another experimental weapons card. +1 damage. And then we have Madam Hydra. Brutal. Well, we can flip back, unleash the Nova Force, remove threat, ready up, draw a card. Oof, that hand is terrible. Well, let's attack. Play Ironheart and draw a card. Okay, just got better. 1, 2, 3 for Spider-Man and give him +2. We'll deal 1 damage to Crossbones and retire Maria Hill. And we'll give Spider-Man +2 attack and get rid of Madam Hydra. I'd love to be able to do it with Nova, but I don't see a good way to do it without sacrificing Moon Girl, and I'd like to bring her back with regroup, so we'll do it this way with having Spider-Man just take him out. And we can go regroup and go 1, 2, move to phase 3 and reveal the top card of the experimental weapons deck, which is going to be the +1/+1. And then we'll go ahead and draw 4. Oh, 1 extra. So, this is only the second Crossbones attack. It's going to go on Moon Girl, but first we need the machine gun, which is 0 damage again. That's lucky. And the attack on Moon Girl, bring her back to hand. After the villain attacks and damages you. Hydra Jet Trooper with Quick Strike for 2 damage. Or I'll have that attack go on Ironheart since I can just bring her back to hand with regroup. And then Hydra Flame Soldier. Anyway, I can deal 16 damage this round. Do not think so. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can have a fun Unleash the Nova Force turn though. So let's go Unleash the Nova Force. And we'll deal 2, deal 1, draw a card, deal 1, Lightspeed Flight, draw a card, go 1, 2, 3 for Moon Girl and draw 3 cards. Deal 1. Pot Shot for 4. Draw a card. Ironheart. Draw a card. It's going to be an extra encounter card. So we can go attack for 1. 1, 2, 3, go for champions. One, 2, 3 damage. And we'll get a regroup out. Throw away force field projection, it won't be needed, and draw 5. So we got 1 threat, we got an attack from Crossbones, which isn't going to deal any damage thanks to go for champions. 2 encounter cards. Full auto, we can discard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be brutal if it wasn't for go for champions. Villain attacks you, and it does have a weapon attached. Probably would have lost this turn if it wasn't for go for champions. So that surges into Cornered Staff, discard 1 card, place additional threat. It's 3 additional threat. And finally, Hydra Soldier. Well, that was the best go for champions that I've ever seen. Of course, regroup goes completely to waste. Poor planning on my part. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, deal an encounter card. Then we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 for Nick Fury and draw 3 cards. Oh, actually, I should have dealt 4 damage. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I didn't have the damage to end it, so maybe I shouldn't have. We can go... Oh yeah, I did. I just didn't see it. Let's rewind that because I want to... even though I've seen the RNG and I don't usually like to do that, since I have the ability to end the game, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4 for Nick Fury's interplay. 1, 2, deal 1, and when I attack, I ready the Supernova Helmet, and then I can go Helmet, make the call for rapid response, draw 5, ready up, 1 damage, and then when he attacks Nick Fury, and Nick Fury dies, I rapid response, bring Nick Fury back in, and after he enters play, deal 4 damage and end the fight. So I don't usually like to rewind after I've seen RNG elements, but in this case the RNG elements were completely irrelevant because I did actually have lethal damage in hand. With the rapid response, I just didn't realize it. Even if I hadn't done that, there would have been no issue with ending this fight. Unless this encounter card, or the encounter cards were truly awful. But I have a very strong board state, so. Yeah, Nova's just breezing through these scenarios, no problem. So we'll move on to the next level up, which is going to be Green Goblin Mutagen Formula on Heroic 1 difficulty, and we'll see how Nova does there. Here we go. Rhino, Absorbing Man, and Taskmaster really represent the entry-level Heroic 1 quest. They're certainly not easy to get by. You have to be well above average, a hero does, in order to do it. Green Goblin and Taskmaster represent another step up in difficulty, being much more combat-focused. So we'll see how Nova does here. And for comparison, if we were playing on expert difficulty, if a hero could get by Green Goblin, Taskmaster, maybe Brotherhood of Badoon on Heroic 1, then they can probably get by the least of the big three. The big three being Ronin, Venom Goblin, and Magneto, the three most difficult scenarios in the game. If you can get by Brotherhood of Badoon on Heroic 1, you can probably get by Magneto at least. Let's see how this goes. Let's get rid of these three. And connection to the world mine does not count toward your hand size, so we draw one extra. Alright, that's a good hand. So we'll go ahead and spend a wild resource and grab the Supernova helmet and play it. We can go 1, 2, and 3 for Moon Girl and draw 3 cards. Interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4 for Nick Fury and draw 3 cards. And we'll flip. We'll attack. And we'll go 1, 2 for Vivian. Supernova helmet for Pot Shot. After we take out the Goblin Thrall, we can deal 4. And we'll play Regroup as well. And Green Goblin should have 2 encounter cards revealed to start the game. We'll also deal 1 damage and thwart for 2 and draw 5. So pretty strong start, I would say. 1 threat, 1 attack on Nick Fury. Goblin Thrall into play. Nick Fury back to hand. Goblin Thrall is going to attack as well. We'll put that damage on Moon Girl and bring her back to hand with Regroup. And then we got 4 encounter cards coming. Advance for 1, 2, 3, 4. Goblin Soldier. Goblin Thrall. And Goblin Collider. That's pretty brutal. Regroup gone at the end of the round. We can go... Seems like an Unleash the Nova Force turn. Unleash the Nova Force. We'll use Jesse Alexander to pay for that and not the Supernova helmet. And then we'll go helmet for Pot Shot. Take out a Goblin Thrall. Actually, we'll deal 1 damage to the Goblin Soldier first. Then helmet for Pot Shot. And not the Goblin Thrall, let's take out the Goblin Soldier. Deal 1 damage. Ready up and draw a card. Deal 1 damage to the Goblin Thrall. Pot Shot. Take out the other Thrall. Ready up and draw a card. That's a good draw, so we can go 1, 2, 3 for Moon Girl and draw 3. Those are not very good draws. We can go 1 and retire Vivian, and then 1. Take out the Thrall. Ready up and draw a card. Miss Marvel. 1, 2, 3 for Miss Marvel. I'm 1 shy of being able to clear Unleash the Mutagen scenario and draw another card. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. Deal 1 damage. Throw away Rapid Response, and then we'll draw 3. So one threat, one attack from Green Goblin. And then 2 encounter cards. Goblin Thrall and Goblin Thrall. Okay. Regroup is 1 turn too late. And I'm kind of out of momentum here. This hand is not very good. My chain of Moon Girl Nick Furies was broken before I could establish control of the board. So we're in trouble here, I would say. Can't go for Champion's Recursion with Miss Marvel anymore because it's been errated to say remove from the game after you play it. And Supernova Helmet for Lightspeed Flight. So let's use Unleash the Nova Force. And exhaust Miss Marvel, deal 1 damage and return that to hand. We'll attack for 1. Lightspeed Flight. Ready up and draw a card. That's a good draw. So we can go 1, 2 for Kalu. Look at the top 5, hopefully find a pot shot. Lightspeed Flight or make the call. I think the pot shots have been used already. And we can go Kalu for 1, Nova for 1. That's going to ready up and draw a card. Go 1, 2, and 3 and go for Champions. And we'll deal 1 damage. And then draw 4. Okay. Goblin's attack's not going to deal any damage thanks to go for Champions. Goblin Thrall doesn't deal any damage. Intimidation, that's going to be a boost card. Advance, that's a scheme for 2 and a Goblin Soldier into play. And that'll be the end of Go for Champions. Do I want to unleash the Nova Force this round? I think I do. But first we'll go 1, 2, 3 for White Tiger and draw 2 cards. It's going to be an extra encounter card. Lightspeed Flight to unleash the Nova Force. It's damage for 1. Supernova Helmet. Remove 3. Draw a card. Ready up. Damage. Draw a card. Ready up. Well, I guess I'll play Jesse Alexander. I don't expect to get a lot of use out of it. We can go... I'm going to deal 2 damage to Green Goblin here. Leave the Goblin Soldier. And then I'll draw 4. Well, +1. I need Moon Girl back. But if I play her from the discard pile, I don't get to use her ability. 1 threat. Goblin will attack against Miss Marvel. Probably White Tiger. Okay. Goblin Soldier attacks for 1. 2 encounter cards. Goblin Reinforcements, 1 additional threat. Regenerative Healing, that's +4 HP. Pumpkin Bombs. Alrighty. Well, let's unleash the Nova Force again. Go 1, 2, 3 for Spider-Man. Give him +2 attack. So Nova will finish him off. And we can ready up and draw a card. Who have I got in the discard? Okay, so we can go remove a threat and we'll make the call. 1, 2, 3 for White Tiger. No. White Tiger only draws when you play from hand, so we'll just spend 2 and grab Kalu again. And look at the top 5, see what there is to see there. Light speed flight, that's what I was hoping for. So we can remove 1 threat, which will ready up and draw a card. Ooh, that's strong. So let's go 1, 2, 3 for Moon Girl and draw 3 cards. After we use Miss Marvel to remove a threat. And then we can use Nova to remove the last threat. Ready up and draw a card. And go 1, 2, 3 damage. Going to cycle out Kalu for Ironheart and draw a card and deal damage, and then I'll throw away Make the Call, deal 1 more damage, and then draw 4. There's a regroup. Go for Champions would be really powerful with this board, but it's already removed from the game. 1 threat, 1 attack on... Let's sacrifice Spider-Man. And Pumpkin Bombs means 2 indirect damage, 2 encounter cards, Caught Off Guard, so we'll discard Jesse Alexander, Goblin Knight. Okay, so let's go 1, 2, 3, 4 for Beast and grab a resource card. I'm going to go with Connection to the World Mind here because I'd like to hold it in hand, I think. Deal 1 damage to the Goblin Knight, 2 damage to the Green Goblin, and we'll play Regroup and then draw. 2 Connection to the World Mind, so they don't count against the hand size. 1 threat, 1 attack from the Goblin on Moon Girl. Put Goblin Thrall into play. Moon Girl returns to hand. 1 attack from the Goblin Knight. And we got to discard a card from the encounter deck. Not a minion. Ironheart returns to hand. 1 attack from the Goblin Thrall for 1 damage, and then 2 encounter cards. Overconfidence, Green Goblin attacks you. That will go on Beast. I see you, Green Goblin attacks you. And we'll defend because otherwise I might die. So 1, 2, 3, 1 damage. Actually, we'll use Supernova Helmet here with Force Field Projection and return 3 damage to the Goblin Thrall. And then regroup will leave at the end of the round. I should have actually not defended and just used Force Field Projection because I'm going to need Nova's action. with the Supernova helmet. And there's no way that I could die with the force field projection. There is a way I could, because he'd have to deal 8 damage. That was the whole reason that I wanted to defend. I don't know though. I decided to defend. I should stick to it. Even though it's a bad play, given that I had force field projection. Okay, so let's go ahead and go 1, 2. 3, 4 for Beast, and I want to go looking for Genius so that I can use it with Moon Girl. 1, 2, 3 for Genius, and draw 3 cards. Then we can use a wild resource for Pot Shot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take him out. Two damage. We'll go Rapid Response. Could have done a lot more, I think, if I hadn't used Nova's defense foolishly last round, but oh well. It's going to be an extra encounter card. So 1 threat, 1 attack. We'll put that on Beast. Get rid of Rapid Response and grab a resource card. And then we have 2 more encounter cards coming. So this is a knockdown drag out fight. Green Goblin attacks with +X, so let's put that on Beast as well. Give the villain 1 additional boost card. Villain heals 2 damage. Goblin Reinforcements. This does not feel like Nova is going to win this very often. We're able to effectively tread water, just not generate enough to do damage with the amount of enemies that the boss is bringing to the fight. We can go 2, 4 for Nick Fury and draw 3. We can go Supernova Helmet for Pot Shot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take 1 damage. We can go Regroup. Pot Shot. Should I roll that back to avoid an extra encounter card? Can give the bosses 4 HP back, use both pot shots on the enemy, and then go 1, 2, 3 and get rid of the Goblin Reinforcements. It's very inefficient. It kind of hurts to do that, but I think it is the best play. And then we'll just go ahead and draw 3. I'm going to keep both of these cards in hand even though it hurts. I'll get rid of Rapid Response. There we go. So 1 threat, 1 attack on Nick Fury. Comes back to hand. 2 encounter cards. Master Plan. Goblin Nation. Not that bad. And then monster that is bad. Add a stun. At least I have a pot shot to deal with that. So I can go remove stun. Nova Force. This would be a really good Nova Force turn if Nova hadn't gotten stunned. Maybe I don't want to remove the stun. What if I don't remove the stun and I Nova Force and like thwart? Without the stun removed though, I can't pot shot. I don't think this is going to be an Unleash the Nova Force turn. Well, let's see. Let's remove the stun. Play Unleash the Nova Force. One. It's Moon Girl for 2. And then Pot Shot using Supernova Helmet. Ready up and draw a card. Remove 1 threat. Not from there, from there. Supernova Helmet for Lightspeed Flight. Ready up and draw a card. 1 damage. Lightspeed Flight. Ready up and draw a card. 1 damage. 2, 3, 4 for Nick Fury. And draw 3 cards. Or should we put Green Goblin into phase 3? No, I think we'll draw 3 cards. Vivian as well. And we'll deal 1, 2, 3 damage. And draw 5. Or 4. Okay, not bad. So 1 attack. 2 encounter cards. Goblin Soldier. And Gang Up. Ouch. 1 more damage. Okay. Ironheart and draw a card. 1, 2, 3 for White Tiger and draw 2 cards. Let's go into phase 3. Deal 3 encounter cards. It's going to be an acceleration token. And we'll get out do 1 damage. Get out, regroup. Deal 2 damage. And then draw 4. Good draws. So 2 threat, 1 attack. Goblin Thrall, back to the hand. Goblin Soldier for 1. Goblin Thrall for 1. 5 encounter cards. If I survive the 5 encounter cards, I'll be in decent shape. Actually, when the Goblin Thrall dealt 1 damage, I'm going to Supernova Helmet for Force Field Projection. And deal 3 back to him. Then we've got 5 encounter cards. Goblin Glider, which we already have, so that goes on the Goblin Soldier. Shadow of the Past brings in the Warbringer. And each player discards 1 card they control with a printed wild resource. Okay. Place 1 threat. Weight of the World. Assault. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to complete this side quest. Discard 3 and put the first Goblin minion in play. And Goblin Thrall. Yikes. This is not good. Let's see what I can do here. I can thwart for 1. Unleash the Nova Force. Nope, I can't ready this because of weight of the world, so I'm not going to be able to do a big turn here with Unleash the Nova Force without first flipping to Alter Ego. If I do that, I have to deal with some of these dudes first. White Tiger and draw 2. Actually 3 now. Strength for Ironheart and draw 1. 1, 2, 3, 4 for Avengers Mansion and draw 1. Alright, and then we'll go 1, 2, 3. And we'll flip and we'll recover for 3. Draw 4. Hope for the best. Well, actually, the best isn't going to be good because Mutagen Cloud gets plus threat equal to number of enemies, so that's going to be 4 threat. And then he'll scheme me out, so I can't flip to Alter Ego or heal, which means drawing 1 less card, which means I can't get rid of Weight of the World. It's actually what I should have done instead of healing. Goblin's going to attack against White Tiger. And then an attack for 2, or attack for 3 from Warbringer. 2 from the Soldier, and then 1 from the Thrall. And 3 encounter cards. Reinforcements, 1, 2, 3. Thrall. Under fire. The war has been brought. Discard X from the top of the encounter deck, where X is equal to the total number of printed wild resources in your hand or discard pile. That's 0. That is a surge. Regenerative healing. 1 more for under fire. Assault. And that's going to end it. In my opinion, this scenario is a little bit beyond Nova. And the reason is with multiple encounter cards, the villain is simply able to overwhelm the amount of damage that Nova can do. At least with Leadership Nova. Now, if we played Aggression Nova, we'd gain damage, but at the expense of cycle. So we'd get fewer turns playing Moon Girl, fewer turns playing Unleash the Nova Force, and so aggression tends to be worse on average. Nova generates resources very well. He generates resources well enough to land him in as a solid A tier hero. He's lacking in his event strength, and he's lacking in his defensive abilities and his basic stats. But he is a lot of fun to play because his resource generation gives a lot of options. Though it is sporadic because it's only 1 extra per round, and so, as I said at the beginning, he generates a lot of resources, or he generates enough resources at all times to break even, but he only really makes progress on Unleash the Nova Force turns, or with Moon Girl Stream, where you string Moon Girl and regroup together, along with Nick Fury. So he can be very streaky, and he can be very strong in the Unleash the Nova Force turns, but only really treads water at other times, and so against some Heroic 1 scenarios you get overwhelmed while you're treading water, and that's what happened here. But he's a lot of fun, and he is on the stronger end. I'd rank him as like an A tier hero. If Scarlet Witch is a B+, then Nova's an A, maybe an S-, but probably an A. So next up will be a deck analysis and buying guide for Nova, and thank you for watching.